Welcome back, dear viewers, to yet another intriguing episode on our channel. Today we're diving deep into the life of a woman whose name alone can cast a chilling shadow, Aileen Wuornos. Her tale is not for the faint-hearted. Known as one of America's most notorious female serial killers, her life has been a subject of constant curiosity and debate. But what do you think? What factors or circumstances led her down such a dark and twisted path? We invite you to share your thoughts in the comments below. As we embark on this chilling journey, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel to stay updated on more deep dives into the lives of infamous figures. In the next scene, we'll start unraveling the enigma that is Aileen Wuornos. Stay tuned. Year 1956, a baby girl was born. Little did the world know she would grow up to be one of America's most notorious female serial killers, Aileen Wuornos. This name sends a chill down the spine of those familiar with the dark side of American history. Her life, shrouded in enigma, has intrigued and puzzled many. Known for her notoriety, she stands as a grim reminder of how twisted a human life can get. Now let's delve into the life of this infamously intriguing woman. Born on February 29, 1956 in Michigan, Wuornos' life was fraught with hardship from the beginning. Aileen Wuornos' early years were far from the idealized image of childhood. Her father, a convicted child molester, was incarcerated at the time of her birth. He would later hang himself in prison. Her mother, unable to cope with the responsibility of two children, abandoned Aileen and her older brother when Aileen was just 4 years old. The siblings were adopted by their maternal grandparents, but this was far from a refuge. Their grandfather was a harsh and violent man, creating an environment of fear and abuse. Aileen's spiral into a life of crime began early. By the age of 11, she was trading sexual favors for cigarettes and spare change at her school. This was a desperate attempt to escape the toxic environment at home, but unfortunately, it only led her further down a destructive path. At the tender age of 15, Aileen was thrown out onto the streets after her grandmother passed away, and her grandfather washed his hands of her. This was a pivotal point in her life. From then on, she lived on the margins of society, surviving through prostitution and petty crime. The world was a harsh, unforgiving place for a teenage girl with no home, no education, and no prospects. Yet Aileen persevered, her survival instincts kicking in. During these early years, Aileen experienced the worst of humanity. She was exposed to violence, exploitation, and the stark reality of life on the streets. These experiences hardened her, creating a shell that was difficult to penetrate. They also fueled a deep-seated anger within her, an anger that would later explode in a deadly rage. The early years of Aileen Wuornos were a testament to her resilience in the face of adversity. They were also a chilling foreshadowing of the path she would later tread. It's a story of survival, but also a story of a life spiraling out of control. These early experiences shaped Wuornos, setting her on a path few could imagine. In the late 1980s, Wuornos' life took a dark turn, one that would forever etch her name in the annals of crime history. The shadows of Wuornos' past began to loom larger, morphing her into a figure that would send shivers down the spine of anyone who dared cross her path. The transformation was not overnight. It was an insidious change, fueled by a potent cocktail of rage, desperation, and the relentless gnawing of her tormented past. In a chilling span of just over 12 months, 7 men met a grim fate at her hands. Each man had a story, each man had a life, but to Wuornos, they were merely faceless symbols of a world that had let her down. They were truck drivers, store owners, part-time rodeo workers, ordinary men leading ordinary lives until their paths fatally crossed with Wuornos. Her method was chillingly consistent. She'd charm them with her allure, lure them into a false sense of security, and when the moment was right, she'd strike. A single bullet, a swift end. No remorse, no second thoughts. Wuornos' reign of terror, however, could not go unnoticed forever. The law was closing in. The first break came when a palm print lifted from one of the victims' cars was matched to Wuornos. Then The police found items belonging to another victim in a pawn shop, pawned by Wuornos. The noose was tightening. But it was Wuornos' own erratic behavior that would eventually lead to her downfall. She was seen abandoning a car belonging to one of her victims. Witnesses came forward and the law finally caught up with her. In January of 1991, Wuornos was arrested at a biker bar, a fitting end to her year-long reign of terror. Her reign of terror had ended, but the intrigue surrounding Wuornos was just beginning. Caught in the spider's web of the law, Wuornos faced the consequences of her actions. Here we are, in the heart of the story, the trial of Aileen Wuornos, a spectacle that gripped the nation. The trial commenced in 1992 in the state of Florida. Wuornos, dubbed the Damsel of Death, stood accused of the murder of 7 men. The court was a beehive of activity, buzzing with a curious mix of fear, fascination, and a thirst for justice. Wuornos's behavior in court was erratic, to say the least. At times, she was a picture of calm, presenting herself as a victim of circumstances. At other times, she would explode into fits of rage, baffling the courtroom with her outbursts. It was an unnerving display, a dance on the knife edge of sanity that left spectators and jury alike in a state of unease. The trial was a whirlwind of testimonies, evidence, and cross-examinations. Amidst all this, Wuornos's defense tried to paint her actions as self-defense. However, the evidence stacked against her was overwhelming. The jury took just over an hour to return a guilty verdict. Wuornos was sentenced to death. The death sentence was carried out more than a decade later, in October 2002. Wuornos met her end in the execution chamber of Florida State Prison. Her last words were a chilling mix of defiance and delusion, a testament to the twisted psyche that had held the world in its grip. With her last breath, Wuornos left behind a legacy of fear, intrigue, and unanswered questions. Questions that, to this day, continue to haunt the annals of true crime. Questions about the nature of evil, about the thin line between victim and perpetrator, about the darkest corners of the human mind. In the end, the saga of Aileen Wuornos serves as a stark reminder of the depths to which humanity can sink and the high price of justice. Even after her death, Wuornos continues to fascinate and horrify in equal measure. Aileen Wuornos, a name that has become synonymous with the term female serial killer, left behind a legacy that is as chilling as it is intriguing. Wuornos's crimes were of such a gruesome nature that they shook the world to its core. They were not just acts of violence, but a reflection of the profound darkness that lurked within her. The 7 men she brutally murdered were not merely victims, they were testament to her rage and despair. Her actions sparked an intense debate about the nature of evil and prompted society to question the factors that drive a person to commit such heinous acts. The media was quick to seize upon Wuornos's story, often portraying her as a monster, a fallen woman, even an avenging angel. Her life and crimes became the subject of numerous books, documentaries and films, most notably the Oscar-winning movie Monster. These portrayals, while contributing to her infamy, often oversimplified her story, reducing her to a caricature of evil without delving into the complexity of her character and the circumstances that led to her downfall. Perhaps the most contentious aspect of Wuornos's legacy is the ongoing debate about her mental state. While she was diagnosed with borderline personality disorder and antisocial personality disorder, many believe that her mental health issues were far more severe. They argue that her violent tendencies were the result of untreated mental illness combined with a lifetime of abuse and neglect. This perspective has fueled discussions about the role of mental health in the criminal justice system, highlighting the need for better understanding and treatment of mental illnesses among inmates. Aileen Wuornos, a name that continues to echo in the annals of true crime history. Her story serves as a grim reminder of the depths to which a human being can sink when pushed to the edge by circumstance and mental illness. It is a legacy that continues to provoke thought and discussion, ensuring that the name Aileen Wuornos will not soon be forgotten. Unraveling the enigma of Aileen Wuornos is no easy task. This woman's life was a tapestry interwoven with threads of adversity, violence and survival, all culminating in a notorious series of crimes that sent shockwaves through the world. Aileen's early years were marred by hardship. Abandoned by her parents, she faced a childhood steeped in neglect and abuse. These tremors of trauma reverberated into her adult life, manifesting in a life of prostitution and a struggle for survival that eventually led her down a path of murder. Her crimes, 7 murders committed over the span of a year, were chilling. Yet they were also marked by a desperation and survival instinct that makes them all the more complex to comprehend. The victims were all men, picked up along highways, their lives extinguished in the seeming blink of an eye. But it was not just the crimes that made Aileen Wuornos a figure of infamy. Her trial, rife with questions of sanity and the death penalty and her subsequent execution, sparked a debate that continues to echo in the annals of criminal justice. In death, she left behind a legacy as complex as her life. Aileen Wuornos, the victim, the criminal, became a symbol, a case study, a warning. Her life and her crimes continue to intrigue us, to confound us, and to warn us of the darkest corners of human nature. Aileen Wuornos, a woman, a criminal, a mystery, an enigma that continues to captivate us even from beyond the grave. Thank you, dear viewers, for joining us on this journey through the life of Aileen Wuornos. Your curiosity and thirst for understanding are what drive us to delve deeper into these enigmatic stories, and it is your engagement that helps us continue to tell these tales. So if you found this exploration into Aileen's life thought-provoking, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and leave your thoughts in the comments section below. Every like, every comment, every subscription helps our channel grow and allows us to reach more curious minds like yours. And remember, this is just one of many stories waiting to be discovered. For more deep dives into the lives of those who have left their mark on history, check out the videos in our playlist. Each one is a journey of discovery, a chance to incite curiosity, provoke thought, and maybe even change perspectives. And so, as we close this chapter on Aileen Wuornos, we look forward to the next enigma, the next story to unravel. Until then, stay curious, keep questioning, and continue exploring the enigma that is the human story. We'll see you in the next video.